Madrid. A nation waiting. Whispers of the royal wedding everywhere. And then, the surprise. 6 million roses. Every street, every plaza, covered in blooms. But why? And who made this breathtaking gesture? Spain awoke to a spectacle no one could have predicted. From Madrid to Oviedo, from Seville to Barcelona, roses blanketed the streets. 6 million blooms, in every shade of red, pink, and white, seemed to appear overnight. The air was perfumed with their scent, and the entire nation paused in wonder. This was no ordinary floral display. This was a love letter to Spain's future queen. At sunrise, Zarzuela Palace confirmed what everyone was whispering. The roses were part of a grand tribute to Princess Leonor, just weeks before her wedding. It was a gesture of devotion, a nationwide expression of pride and affection for the young woman who will one day sit on Spain's throne. The first images went viral within minutes. Plaza Mayor transformed into a sea of crimson petals. The streets leading to Almudena Cathedral lined with white roses, the color of hope and new beginnings. Even the gates of the royal palace were draped with garlands, as though the entire city had been turned into a living bouquet. Who organized such a breathtaking gesture? Royal sources say it was a joint effort. Local governments, private citizens, even schoolchildren contributed. Florists worked through the night. Volunteers filled plazas with blooms. Farmers donated roses from across the country, some traveling hundreds of miles to deliver their offering. The result was stunning. Leonor herself reportedly awoke early, drawn to the palace balcony by the commotion outside. There, she saw what her people had done. Witnesses say she stood in silence for several moments, her hand covering her mouth, tears welling in her eyes. When she finally turned to the cameras, she smiled, a soft, emotional smile that spoke louder than any words. But the roses were more than a display of beauty. Each color held meaning. Red roses for passion and strength, a nod to Spain's resilience and Leonor's courage. White roses for purity and duty, symbolizing the crown and the promise of continuity. Pink roses for affection, the bond between a future queen and her people. As the day unfolded, Leonor surprised everyone by stepping out of the palace to walk among the roses. Dressed simply, without heavy protocol, she greeted the crowds, hugged children, and even accepted a single hand-tied bouquet from an elderly woman who said, "These are from all of us. We are with you." It was a moment that brought tears to many watching, both on the street and around the world via live television. But what made this gesture even more extraordinary was its timing. The wedding is only weeks away, and tension inside the palace has reportedly been building. Every detail is being scrutinized: the guest list, the ceremony, the security arrangements. For Leonor, this massive floral tribute was not just a celebration, but a reminder, she is not facing this alone. The public has embraced her, just as they embraced her father, Felipe VI, on the day he ascended the throne. But this feels different. This is not just duty. This is love. And love has been a key theme of Leonor's story. Her romance, carefully protected by her parents, is now Spain's favorite topic. Speculation about her fiancé has reached fever pitch. Is he a young Spanish noble, quietly preparing to join her in public service? Or a foreign aristocrat, whose union with Leonor could forge new ties with Europe? Every answer leads to new questions. What will her dress look like? Will she choose a Spanish designer, like her mother did, or make a bold statement with something unexpected? Which tiara will she wear? The Prussian tiara, steeped in history, or a modern piece to symbolize a new era? And of course, the question of who will attend. This wedding is set to bring together kings and queens, presidents and prime ministers, even Hollywood stars and cultural icons. The streets of Madrid are expected to be filled with millions of well-wishers on the big day. As the roses continued to fill Spain's cities, television crews captured the reactions of ordinary people. Parents lifting children onto their shoulders to see the displays. Elderly couples walking hand in hand, saying they had never seen anything like it, not even for King Philippe's wedding. And through it all, Leonor remained at the center, calm, gracious, glowing with quiet happiness. Royal historians have already begun calling this, the Day of Roses, a moment that will be remembered for generations. Some say it is Spain's way of giving Leonor a blessing, a visible sign that the nation is ready to follow her into the future. But what does this mean for the monarchy itself? In recent years, Spain's royal family has faced scrutiny, challenges, and questions about its place in modern society. Leonor's wedding, and the outpouring of love surrounding it, is being seen as a turning point, a moment of unity, of renewal, of hope. In Oviedo, the city that gives Leonor her title as Princess of Asturias, cathedral bells rang all day long. In Seville, musicians gathered in the streets to play traditional wedding songs. Across Spain, it felt as if the entire country had been invited to share in this prelude to history. And this is just the beginning. Over the coming weeks, we will see the official engagement photos, likely taken at Zarzuela Palace, showing Leonor and her fiancé together for the first time. Then the details of the ceremony will be revealed, the music, the readings, the royal regalia to be used. But nothing may match the magic of this day. 6 million roses, a gift from the people to their future queen, a living symbol of Spain's heart laid at her feet. When the wedding day finally arrives, those roses will not just decorate the streets, they will fill every corner of Spain with memory and meaning. And when Leonor steps out of her carriage, dressed in white, holding her bouquet, she will not just be walking toward her future husband, she will be walking toward her destiny. A destiny the entire nation has just celebrated with 6 million flowers. The love story continues, the anticipation builds, and the world is watching.